All right. Well, welcome to the Road Warrior podcast with Greg Rubendall. This is episode 5, and theme of this first season is origins. And so I've talked already with my friend Louise, who we conceptualized this thing just from our long talks. She says hi, by the way, Todd. They work together.
Arsenal?
Yeah, Arsenal. And the good Arsenal, not the one that lost to Manchester United. Let's see who else. I talked to my sister, who you coached, right? Didn't you coach Carrie?
I did.
Yep.
Carrie,
Uh, and
yep.
then and then
For
Jeff,
DVSC,
DVSC Diablo Valley Soccer
under
Club, which
10s,
is now
the under 9s.
Diablo Valley Wolves FC slash the Town FC. Like, for anybody who's from the Bay Area, you have no idea what Concord soccer looked like in 1988. And when we talk to my dad for the second half of his, because I talked to Carrie, Jeff, and Bill, when we talked a lot more about like personal stuff and just him and his youth and growing up, we didn't even get into the sports side. So I think it's amazing to talk to Todd first before we put on that second half, because Todd has probably some interesting insights into the world of Bill Rubendall and Concord soccer and all of that. So I have to introduce my favorite coach that ever coached me, Todd Higley. And I say that in 100%. Like, if I was to say the ideal, my dad was my first coach, but the one who really got me to believe in myself, Todd Higley. So, Todd, welcome.
Thank you very
You
much,
got a
Craig. I
little,
really appreciate that. That makes
yeah,
me,
no
it's making
problem.
my heart warm.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm not, and just for everybody who knows, and again, this is first season and nobody's listening to this, and I don't care, because you're going to go back after I get season 15 and you're like, where did this all come from? And this is low budget, no studio. There's feedback on his end. Like, who
I'm hearing
cares?
reverberation.
Yeah, who cares? Like, this is dirty. I'm getting this out because people need to know where I come from and how I am and why I am the way I am, but also on my path through this crazy thing called life is I've run into some amazing people who have shaped who I am and what I do, for good and for bad. And I've learned along that path. And so, Todd, before we get started, and I did this with my dad, and I think I like it. Why am I interviewing you? So, question for you. Why do you think I'm interviewing you?
Um, Number one, you probably don't remember. I was at your house when I was maybe 14 years old. That would have made you probably,
I think you're what, 5 years older, so maybe
I,
9 or 10.
okay. So
Okay.
my mom would have to go to your house, to get the goldenrod sign, the Valor Donald stamp, the sticker. So we would always be driving because our team was unorganized. Have the goldenrod for tournaments. You had to have your district registrar commissioner sign it. And Bill and Valerie Rubendall were the famous commissioners in our area.
Really, I didn't even know that. I knew we had a busy living room,
Yes.
but I didn't know why. And for those, just to kind of foreshadow, I'll be doing a podcast up close once I also talk to Bill, but also about my mom, who passed away almost 5 years ago, and it is going to be a
Wonderful day.
memorial episode. And we're gonna talk. That's fantastic. I didn't even know that, because there's the things that she did for me as her son, and just being that person for other people, and me seeing that, and it derives a lot of who I am and why I do what I do. So just hearing that, like, we we were Grand Central Station, apparently, where
You
people
were.
came to my house to get stuff done for the weekend, and it was, for those who don't know, it was dirty back in the day. Like, the way the rules and how things had to be, and like, there was I think there must have been
It was an
reasons why it
actual
was like that.
golden rod. It
Yeah,
had to be
the
gold.
goldenrod. If anybody from Northern California who knows about the goldenrod, hit me up because
CYSA passes.
oh, CYSA, rest in peace. They still exist, but like Cal North might be the only association in America that is an iota, a fraction of what the U.S. club version or NorCal Premier is. So yeah, so like there's we'll talk in future episodes about the evolution of soccer in Northern California and just why we are the best. And you can tell me we're not, but I've been everywhere and I can tell you we are the best. We're the innovators. So really wanted to go like just start. Tell me about like who is Todd Higley from, where you grew up, getting into soccer, kind of your path as a player, going at that whole hard life of being a Stanford Cardinal. I mean a Cal Bear. All that. So just kind of yeah, exactly. Oh, trust me, I got a brother and dad who went to Cal, so you don't say that without knowing it's gonna
No,
create.
I don't even mention them.
So
Although they
yeah,
do, I did play with their head coach, and they do have a good program. I got to give it to them. And I also got to say, if my SAT was 200 points higher, I probably would have gone to Stanford.
okay. Hey, I'm glad you didn't, because you'd probably be some like hedge fund manager in on the peninsula, and I never would have known you. So I'm glad your scores were bad. All right. Well, yeah. So
Thank you
tell
very
me,
much.
tell us about yourself.
So I was born to Sally and Stu. My dad, played baseball at Arizona State. I don't know if you remember that, but Rick Monday was a Hall of Fame center fielder, played for the Dodgers. And then there was my dad, and there was another Hall of Fame center fielder behind him called Reggie Jackson. So
Reggie
my dad
Jackson.
decided that
I
he
don't know
wasn't
that
good
name.
enough.
Is that did he play baseball?
Yeah, he's on some like baseball cards. I don't know if he
Yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah,
played or not, but
yeah.
yeah, he's
Okay, yeah. Maybe
and maybe
those
a
who
Wheaties box.
like stickball. I don't understand stickball. You'll have to explain it to me.
So my dad was a civil engineer, but always loved baseball. So I got my big calves and my competitive spirit, I think, from my dad. Um, my dad had never seen a soccer ball until I brought one home. We were living on a 5 acre farm in San Martin,
Where's that?
which
Oh,
is
that's
just
down by
south of
like
San Jose.
yeah, Monterey area, right? Salinas.
It's up. It's like if they had bought that,
Oh, San Martin is
Silicon Valley right in the
what
thing.
do you call it? The place where dreams go to die. That Morgan Hill. San Martin's right next to
Yes,
Morgan Hill. Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
So
right there.
the guy who basically started Morgan Hill, I had Christmas with him. My mom worked at his fruit stand, so it was very rural. I used to ride horses where that soccer field is in Morgan Hill. No jokes.
Yeah, that doesn't
So
surprise me.
that
You'd be a
was
horse
first grade,
rider.
San Martin, Morgan Hill.
Yep.
And I go out to recess, and this kid named Angel is juggling a soccer ball. I was like, what the heck? That is so cool. I went and I talked to him. Well, my dad, I gotta try this. He's like, what is it? I asked Angel if he could borrow a soccer ball so I could show my dad, showed it to him. And 6 months later, I got a $13 pair of cheetah soccer shoes from Mervyn's, and my soccer career began.
There you go. All right, and then you moved up to the East Bay at some point. What was that?
Yeah,
What
I moved to Livermore in second grade. I played for the Stutz Bearcats, the
the who?
super under 10 team.
Just so you know, because
I
I
did.
got laryngitis and my voice is just coming back, I'm gonna have like notes and signs. Don't let them distract you. It's just my thoughts. So, will you be my friend? And the angel brought you a ball. So, hey, I
Yes.
don't know if
I went
anything's
out
better
there
than
and
that.
Angel and I spent the lunches, recesses playing, showing me tricks. And I was hooked. Um, Tried out for Livermore competitive soccer after my 1 year of Stouts Bearcats because that was my first rec. I started late. I was 9 years old. But I remember vividly asking my dad, Angel taught me how to go juggle with my right foot, juggle with my right thigh, and then head it. Do you think they're going to ask me at tryouts to do that? Because I can't do that. And
So
my
for those,
dad's like,
yeah,
I
so
don't think they're
for
going to ask
those
you
who
to do
don't
that. You just
know
go do your best.
exactly, for those who don't understand the landscape, because this was in the 80s, right? So in California, there
Yeah.
were really three clubs, and maybe there were more, but there was Fremont, which was the Kinnears. So, and then there was Ballistic United and Livermore. And Livermore, originally, from my understanding and the history, because I was the director there, was called the Livermore Atomics. So you had Ballistic United, Livermore Atomics, and Fremont. We'll call them the horses. I don't even know what they were, but it's all surrounded. There's a lab there, Sandia and Lawrence Livermore Labs. So all the area was grew because of all of the scientific testing that occurred. Those were the labs. My grandfather worked for Lawrence Livermore Labs in Los Alamos. So the plans that they designed in the labs were sent to the field. And so my grandfather was the one who created and engineered the weapons. So he was a weapons designer and engineer for 60s, 70s, 80s, and then he did declassification when he retired. So he's the black marker on a lot of things. So I only say that as a because you said you had a soccer club and a competitive program. Most of the Bay Area at that time did not. So how many teams were there, like in Northern California, once you got on that first competitive team? 15, 20, maybe?
Well, I didn't make it.
Oh, you didn't make it? Oh, too bad. So
Yeah, I
sad.
didn't make it.
Maybe.
So I didn't make the competitive team. I had to, as my parents grew, they wanted to move to Alamo. And so that brought us the Mustang Soccer Club. And I
Got it.
played rec until under 14,
Okay. Yeah, that's
actually
not
under
something that's
13.
done anymore, right? Like
No,
recreational
there is
was,
no, like, yeah, with NorCal, there's no more rec. There's no more.
yeah. And we could talk about the business of soccer all day long. We're not going to do that because it might make us
Yeah.
sad, depressed, and disenfranchised. Um, well, and then
What was really cool about the Mustang, they're competitive, where that's the coach selects you. And then they would have a red division and a white division.
okay,
In the red division coaches, you all got together at a pizza parlor and you all went to the tryouts and you actually drafted like a real professional team. And my dad loved it. I was his, so my dad was my
oh
coach. He loved doing the
yeah,
draft.
yeah, baseball guy with a draft for sure.
And we did
I
well.
remember that's how
At
they
about
used to.
13, I knew I wanted to get serious with soccer.
Yeah.
So I asked my family if I could go to soccer camp, and they said no. But I begged them and begged them and begged them, and my grandparents did.
Nice. What was the camp? Do
So
you
I met
remember?
Hubert Vogelsinger.
Okay.
I met Joe Max Moore, who
Yep.
is who is my idol of a player. Many people don't remember him, but he was technically a genius. Milan Dovidon um, started meeting coaches of different countries and nationalities, different styles,
Yeah.
and when I talk long, that's the reverberation.
Oh, it's not on my end, but
Uh,
hopefully we can fix that.
yeah,
Um,
so I caught the bug. This was a $2,000 camp, 3 weeks Vogelsinger in Santa Barbara.
mhm.
I just opened my eyes up to what was possible. It was no, my dad coaching. My dad was a great coach for a baseball player.
Yeah.
But soccer wise, I needed to be challenged and I needed people who wanted me to get to where I needed to be. Yeah. Um, went to Bilba Singers Camp 4 summers in a row. One of those summers, I played really well, and I was invited to go on a trip to Brazil and Argentina. It's called the
Okay.
USA Puma All Star Team,
I've heard of those countries.
and that trip absolutely changed my life.
Yeah,
15 years old, I spent my birthday on the beaches of Copacabana.
yeah,
I went to Pele's house. I had a picture with Pele. Pele put his arm around me. I watched Diego Maradona play live,
yeah. I mean,
and
maybe if you guys are in soccer, you might have heard of these two characters.
yeah, they're pretty good.
They're okay.
And Pele offered me a Coke, which is pretty cool, and put his arm around me.
Wow.
His house was amazing. It had all the victory posters
Mhm.
and then Sylvester Stallone.
So, just so you know, my favorite sport movie all time, Escape to Victory. And for anybody who has not seen that movie, you need to watch it. It is. I'll give a quick one. It's a prison camp prisoners who are behind enemy lines, and Germany is running through Europe. They're in France, and it ends with a game of the prison guards and the prisoners. The prison guards, they actually brought in the international national team to be guards for a day, and it's an
Lothar
amazing movie.
Matthäus.
Yeah, it gives me chills every time I watch it, and it's a great story. Sylvester Stallone is the goalkeeper. If you ever look at they're like old. I saw an old interview with Stallone during an NASL game talking about the movie. Hilarious, because Sylvester Stallone knows nothing about soccer, and like the fact that he
Yep.
did that movie, like again, everybody knows he's Rocky, right? So okay, I mean, so you caught the bug. How do you get to Cal? Like
Okay.
how did Cal work? How did you get to Cal? How did you go? Did you walk on
Cal is
or
another weird story. I was recruited by like five schools. San Jose State, Fresno State, UC Berkeley, some teams on the East Coast. I can't remember the name. But I also had the option to go to the Naval Academy. My grandfather and my uncle were both in the Navy. And I had Walter Mondale's nomination. So I had planned on just going to the Naval Academy.
yeah? And Walter Mondale was like a presidential candidate, right? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. My mom somehow did political stuff with him back in the day. So
Okay.
this was all set up, done deal. And all of a sudden I started getting good enough. My junior year, I'm out training at my high school, Monte Vista. And the gentleman walks up to me and he's like, "Dang, son, you're pretty good. Where do you plan on going to college?" I was like, "Oh, Clemson." He's like, "Do you know Clemson doesn't have a soccer program?" I just
Little
liked
fact.
the claw.
Little important fact.
So then I started looking into it, started talking to my high school coach, happened to be involved with the polo program at Cal.
Mm.
Dave Chaplick, who was the coach at Santa Clara and won a national championship there in 91, had moved to Cal. And so they got to talking, and my name came up. Dave Chaplick came and watched a few of my games. And then Sally made him a dinner he couldn't say no to.
Whoa, so it was back in the day when coaches went to parents' houses and that's how they signed deals. Not this NIL stuff, not like a branding
Yep.
opportunity. It was like personal, like I want you in my family, like be a part of us. So that's amazing. And
He came and ate stroganoff. And it was
Stroganoff.
so
Um,
my dad gets to talking. It was a good story about the scholarship. Like typical like the what's the Tom Cruise movie with
Cocktail.
the lawyer,
Oh, I don't know.
the
What,
agent,
what is it?
the one where he's the
Okay.
agent. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
So my dad's talking about money. He's like, "Oh,
Jerry
let's talk."
Maguire. Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
Show
He's
me
like,
the
"My
money.
my." My dad's like, "Oh, let's talk about a scholarship." And the coach pulls out $1. He's like, "Shit, here's dollar. What do you got a scholarship?
They got their money's worth, I'll tell you that. I know you pretty well. Right. They might have overpaid though.
Yeah, tough
So,
first year.
yeah, I mean, we won't go into the college games, years, all that stuff. We could probably talk about that for forever. But
Yeah.
you ended up your senior year, you were team captain, correct?
I was team captain for 2 years. I was all league, honorable mention my senior year. And that was also the second year of the MLS.
Got
So
it.
that
Okay.
my junior year was the first year of the MLS. There was a lot of people all over the world came to join the MLS. When I graduated, only Jerry Yeagley, son Todd Higley, was drafted from college.
Oh,
So
wow.
I didn't know what to do.
Yeah. So, like, what did you do? I mean, you didn't make it to pro.
I didn't, at 23, I realized I didn't make it to pro. I also was one of the last cuts for the Olympic team. So I started uh, figuring out what I wanted to do because my plan was to be a soccer player. I wanted to
Yeah.
break that mold. But I'm a little short for pro levels.
Yeah. What position did you
Um,
play?
I played, see, that's the, every level I went back a little bit. So I started out as a forward. I wanted to score goals and wanted to get the glory. And then I realized push the ball more in midfield. And then as you get older, you're maybe not good enough. You need to defend a little more.
Yeah. So, like, primarily,
So I ended up,
primarily.
probably my best position would be like an outside attacking back.
Okay. And you guys probably played 4-4-2, I assume?
We
Everybody played.
did
Yep,
four
everybody played
four
four.
two.
Just so you know,
Everybody
I
back then
guessed
did.
that. I guessed
People
that, but
didn't
I
even
put
know about 4-4-2, 4-3-3.
exactly. I put here's Todd right here, right back, flying. Oh,
Yes,
wrong way,
I'd,
flying down
I'd
the
be going down
sideline.
that way. Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
I would be like you on the left side though.
Yeah, but you know, you would have had to make sure there was a EMT on call because I got hurt quite a bit. That cut my life, my soccer playing career short. So okay, so you're figuring stuff out. Probably have 1,000 different jobs. You played for the Blackhawks for a bit, didn't you? Or no?
I actually worked for the Blackhawks, but I didn't play
Okay.
for them. I may have trained with them a couple times, but nothing serious. I did play with Eric Ronaldo. I played with the San Jose Clash.
Oh, the
Is
Clash?
that what you were referring to?
No, the Clash. I don't.
Yeah.
Is the San Jose Clash? Is that? Did they go under? No, no. For those who don't know, they rebranded and called themselves the Earthquakes, and then they moved to frickin' Houston, and then we didn't have a club, and then they were resurrected from the
And
dead,
they
and
won an
now we have the
MLS title.
Earthquakes. Huh? And what was
And the
that?
Houston
Houston Dynamo.
Dynamo ended up winning the title.
Yeah. So our
But we had to
team.
bring back the Earthquake because that was the 70s and 60s. It was George Best. And that's another thing I did. My parents never would have gone to these Earthquake games had I not gone into it. So my dad got season tickets. I ended up watching George Best. There's a picture of George Best holding me up. Gary Etherington was my favorite player, I believe, according to my school cards I got.
So it's funny. I went to school at Loyola Marymount, and there's a bar down there called Bestie's, or at least when I was going to school, it doesn't exist anymore. And it was Best's bar. And if anybody wants to hear a more tragic story about the ills of alcohol and being rich and having a lot of demons and being a party guy, like George Best, Mutton Chops was a playboy. He was a 70s playboy. So for those who don't know, like
He dated 3 Miss Worlds.
he got a hat trick. And oh, by the way, George Best quotes are amazing. They are amazing. So you got to look, you got to,
Can I say it?
yeah, well, go for it.
So he's getting interviewed and like he's at the end of his career. He's lost money. He's dwindling. Georgie, you made so much money. What did it all go wrong? What did you spend your money on? I spent it on women, booze, cars, and the rest I wasted.
Oh, I know that quote. episode, and thank you for reminding me of it. And the rest I wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah, tragic story, but what a legend. One of the
There's
definitely
stories where
probably
he
the
was
top.
his teammates would have to go find him in the alleyways.
Yeah, I would say probably one of the top 20 best players of all time. He might even be
Could have
higher
been
than
the
that.
best ever if he didn't
Yeah,
he drink a
it,
lot.
yeah. What he was Northern Ireland, right? He's from Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
Played
sure he
for
saw some stuff as a kid that maybe traumatized him because you had the IRA and all that stuff back where he was
good
coming from.
point.
So he dealt with it in his own special, unique way, but he brought joy to the children with the way he played, and that's why we remember him. So again, I go back. You were my first professional coach, and I asked you, why did I choose you? And I played on a team, the Concord Spirit. We were named after the Spirit poles that were downtown Concord that are no longer there. And you can look up the history of that. It was crazy. But my dad's office was down there, and he decided, hey, let's call ourselves the Spirit. So we were the Concord Spirit. And we traveled around, and we ended up being very, very good. One of the top. There were really only three teams that would win everything at my age group.
What was
It
he?
would be Clovis Heat, it would be Juventus out of Watsonville, and it would be us. And the reality was the Clovis team won 7 out of the 8 times, and the only time they didn't end up in the final, we did. We played San Juan, and we had a horrific mistake by the goalkeeper, and they knocked it in, and we lost 1-0. And it was like I was right next to him as the ball kind of dropped, and he went to go kick it, and he just missed, and it bounced, and they put it in, and it broke my heart. But that was the only time they weren't in the final and won it. So we had the chance, and it just didn't fall for us. But that's life. That's the game. But the real reason is I played with a lot of players, and unlike all of you who decide that going to another club and playing for the sparkly badge is really important. My parents started Diablo Valley Soccer Club. It was who I was, it was who my family was. I wasn't leaving unless somebody dragged me out. So I played for 10 years, 8 years on this team, and I probably played with 75 different players. We had a carousel. We would get people would come, could go. People would leave, they drop out,
Teams wanted
whatever
to
it was.
join and
Yeah, and it was just the way it was.
combine.
But I was the only person who was there from beginning to end. So if anybody can tell me the history of the Conquered Spirit, you're wrong, because I was the one who was there, and I can tell you what it was like as a player. To the point where we had a second team and became a rival called the Machine. So we had Spirit versus the Machine. So we had an inter-club rivalry that was toxic, but it was amazing. Anyway, I think I was about 16, and Todd came in as our coach. He was our first paid trainer. He took over for our volunteer coach, who was my best friend's father. So my best friend Joey, who was a national team player through his teens, and without getting injured at a national team camp and having really bad health guidance. His playing career was cut short, but his dad was our coach, and he was from El Salvador. And when I have Joey on, he finally agrees to do it. We'll talk a little bit about why I am 11% Salvadoreño, and that's a good story. So anyway, I played with some really, really good players, right? National team level players. And Todd asked me a question one time, and I don't remember if you remember asking me, and you said, who do you think is the best player on this team? And it was something to that effect. Do you remember saying that at all? And
Was
and
that
so
by
I'm
on the
like,
field
well,
where we used the two trees as the goals?
yeah, a victory lane. Victory lane. By the way, there were no victories happening in that community. We had to pick up broken needles to make sure it was safe. But do you remember
We
asking?
literally used two trees as a goal.
Yeah. Hey, that's real. That's real. Um, but you asked me that question, or something, some derivation of that question, and I rattled off a couple players that were on the team, and he's like, no, it's you. Like, you're the best player on this team. And Like no one has said something to me, especially like I was an introverted kid, so I'm talking a lot right now, but I was very quiet, hardworking. So play hard, have fun, listen to your elders, like, do it and, you can disagree with it, but have respect. Like they're not telling you things to make you worse. They're telling you things that they think are going to make you better. And that's how I went into everything. And I may not have agreed with the process and that maybe I complained, but I wasn't a big complainer. It's just life. Life is tough and there are things you like and things you don't. You have coaches you love and you have coaches that were the worst possible coach for you, but you probably learn more about yourself from the ones who were terrible for you than the ones who were great for you. And so when you said that, it like in my mind, and I had over before Todd came in, you didn't coach us when I had a broken leg, right? It was after that.
Yeah.
So at 15, I broke
Hmm.
my own leg, and I can tell you that story. It was disgusting, and I had a lot of injuries that went through it, and it was very emotionally draining. So for somebody to say anything near that, it gave me like you don't know how much it means to me now. Like I'm even getting teary. How much it mean to me then, and how what I do and what I've done since that moment is to try and do that for other players and to find that spark or that thing to get them to go. And I've broken a lot of eggs, right? So don't get it twisted like I'm a perfect coach. And I've said the wrong thing at the wrong time, or I said the right thing at the wrong time, or I said the right thing at the right time. So, that's coaching and it really, really sucks. But when it works out, it's amazing. So I'm just going to fast forward because you guys are probably tired of hearing me ramble, but we will talk to Todd again because I'm interested in his stories. So I'm going to put him out there and forget you guys. I don't care what you think because I want to hear these things because he has a fantastic life and I don't know these things about him. Half of the reason why I'm doing this podcast, there are people in my life who have changed me, fundamentally changed me, that I recognize why they were in my life and what they meant to me. And I don't care about people you look at on the TV. The people around you are the ones who form you. And by me having these conversations, I get to ask questions that have haunted me or have inspired me for decades. So why not, right? It's all part of the road warrior that we are as coaches. So I'm going to go to this. Okay. What is this?
That's the World Cup
Is it? Does it look like the
trophy.
real World Cup
It's
that
not the
sits
World
in?
Cup. It's a
Yeah.
replica. Oh, by the
Is,
way, I kissed the World Cup also, the
oh,
real
you
one.
kissed the World Cup? Who hasn't kissed the World Cup? Just kidding. Uh, you know what? I'm gonna name my first child World Cup so I can kiss the World Cup in the morning every day. Um, so this like, and this is of all the things that I hold dear as a coach, it's this thing. And we had a garage sale about 4 months ago, and we took all the junk and we were selling stuff, and somehow this ended up on a table, and because my wife did everything, and I was like, "Wait, what are you doing?" I was like, "What are you doing?" And it was like, "This does not get sold." Oh, I didn't know it was junk. So it's a World Cup. It's a replica World Cup trophy. But when is it from? Where is it from? Do you remember? So I'm gonna.
You're cutting out, but I remember this is the end of the year party, right?
Yeah, can you read that? So Coach Greg Rubendall,
Coach
Ballistic
Greg
U10,
Rubendall.
Ballistic U10 Premier, NorCal State Champions. And that team had lost in the final in their under nine age. And I believe you were coaching the team that year, right? And
Yep.
somehow it was decided whether Todd agreed with it or not, I don't know. But I coached the team the following year. So I was inheriting some amazing players. And we will talk more in depth about the Catalyst program that we kind of conceptualized, but you really kind of born. And catalyst, for those who don't
Mhm.
know chemistry, is what? What is a catalyst?
So the things that gets it started,
No, it's something, it's a chemical
impetus.
reaction It's the thing that starts a chemical reaction that breaks it and makes it grow. Like it's an inception. So he had this catalyst program, and the technical skills training that we did with 7, 8, 9, 10 year olds, I have not seen anything like it since. Anything. It was amazing. And
Do you
I would
remember
say,
that one that jamboree where we told them that they couldn't score anymore and they had to go side to side, and they decided to do it inside the six, and they went. I decided like three times.
no, I don't know that. But we did have things like you have to score a header goal, and this is when kids could head the ball when they were young. We can talk about that and why or why not. That's okay. Hey, by the way, U.S. soccer. I'm
Yeah,
going to throw
why do
this
we
out to
use a
you.
size three ball and Germany doesn't?
Yeah, no, I would say do what Holland does. You create a lighter ball that kids can head safely. The ball that they use is too heavy. It's too hard for an 8-year-old. But that doesn't mean they can head a balloon, a beach ball, a rubber ball. So get your head together, U.S. soccer, and
Yeah,
globally, because I think that's
use
across
your
the board.
body.
And by the way, brain damage is a real thing. So I'm not saying that you can't get brain damage, but also if you head something, the impact goes into the thing you head, not into your own head. So, anybody who's a true headbanger, right, will know that is I can break a wall without even getting no, you can head a wall without getting a scratch and putting a dent in that wall. And so that's basic physics. So we're gonna chemistry, physics. What else are we talking about? So this trophy, and I'm going to take the floor here because this is again the greatest moment in my coaching career, bar none. Most impactful. Again, I'll probably start crying again because it gives me shivers. We had a very good team, very, very good team. There was not a player on that team that didn't belong there in that season. They were all phenomenal for different reasons. We had one younger player who was on the team, Stuart Ritchie, who was playing up. We had another kid who was coming out of like a second team environment. His name was Tackett, I think. I think his last name was Tackett. It's escaping me right now. But during that season,
Yes, I remember his dad.
with all their successes, is we had two parents die of cancer, and Tackett's dad died, and I can't remember which cancer he had. He passed away, and it was like really brutal. It accelerated really quickly. I think it was very it was a rapid decline that like came out of nowhere. And then we had Stuart Ritchie, who was our play up, whose mom had her second round of breast cancer, and it just consumed her. And so we lost both parents during the season. And so we are playing in State Cup. We're playing, and anybody knows NorCal State Cup, semifinals on Saturday, finals on Sunday. Well, the Tacketts didn't realize because the mom, his mom was now dating her husband's best friend, and it was, from my understanding, his last wishes. Like he wanted her to be taken care of, and so that's how I think. Don't quote me on this, but I believe that was the story. So he had planned a trip to Disneyland, and they were leaving after our game on at the semifinal. So he missed the final, and he was a player coming up. He was super raw, but he had a great attitude. He was a great kid, and he was going through a lot, and just a fantastic kid. And so he was not at the game. So we ended up playing Ajax of Modesto, and it's spelled Ajax, like Ajax, but don't get it confused, people. They are Ajax. They have no
Not the
affiliation with the
same.
Dutch club. They stole their brand and actually got sued because they stole the brand. They weren't licensed. So anyway, we're playing them, and they had a player, and throw it out there, Travian Souza. Travian has played in the national team pools, pro player now. Amazing story, amazing family. But the game is dwindling. It's 0-0, and Trey scores with 2 minutes to go. And, our guys are just like kind of devastated. But because of the grit and the determination of our team, we get the ball, we kick up, and it was Colin Ritchie, not related to Stewart, who hit like a 40-yard bomb, looping the keeper to tie it 1-1. And so we go to extra time. So now we're in extra time, and like we've got the momentum, and we end up scoring the go-ahead goal, and it's golden goal at this time, by the way. And we score, we start going crazy, or maybe it wasn't golden goal, but we score, and they call it back for offside, and it was Christian Neves, who Portuguese family, dad super passionate.
Indeed.
The kid was like, if you could have a prima donna on team, he was a prima donna. He had an older brother who was really good. He is very talented,
Marco.
but also, his dad put a lot of pressure on him, and it leads to a little bit. But the goal gets called back, and we go to PKs. Okay, now we're in PKs, shooting back and forth. I have no idea, but Colin Travasos is our goalkeeper. Colin is playing professionally, played for Cal. I went to his senior night. Like, I just showed up. I hadn't seen him in a decade. And he was like, dude, coach. I was like, I surprised him. Great kid, awesome family. His dad was my manager, Scott. Shout out to you, Scott, because you did all the real work. All I did was stand there. And Jenny, his wife, who's amazing as well. But we get to PKs. And obviously, in every PK shootout, you have an opportunity potentially of shooting first or second. And I'm always I want the first shot every time. I want to put the other team to have to catch us. And if we miss, our keeper can always pull it back for us. And then I like that mentality. But in this one, we were shooting second. And so it's 4-4. Colin makes a save. And so now it's 4-4. And TT, Christian, has the game-winning kick. He's the number 5. And he's ready, lines up. Okay. And now in NorCal, you have maybe 16 fields around each other, and they all end at the same time. But we are the grand championship. There's championships at 30 different levels, but we are the big one. We are the state.
And you had the overtime, so gives it extra.
And so everybody came to this field. And we're talking, I'm going to say 1,000, but it might have been more than that who were watching this. It was surrounded, right? And so the pressure is on. It was the first time that these kids played in what a stadium atmosphere would feel like. And this is pre-social media. This is pre-filming. I have I don't think I have pictures, but I don't actually have video of anything like this. And so TT lines up, right? There's really no pressure on him to score, but the pressure of the moment got to him. And do you remember that? Do you remember what happened? He smashed it over the bar.
Didn't he?
He broke a window in the neighborhood house 4 miles down. But it was a hard shot, but he was too amped up. And I, retrospectively, I didn't calm him down before the kick. He needed to be like, hey, Christian, look at me. Nobody's here. It's just me and you. Yeah. It's a ball. Put it where you always do. Yeah. Right? He would have been nails in any other situation.
Tap it in.
Yeah. just do what you do, right? So anyway, we go through. Now it goes to round 6. And we have Josh McClanahan. He scores, they score. We're tied 5-5. Now it goes to the 7th round. And this is the time where we're playing 8-a-side. So I have my 8 players, and I have 2 remaining selections. Colin Travasos, who probably would admittedly say he had no feet. When somebody says that they have a left foot, he could kick a ball, but where it would go, who knew? Right? We would just smash it down the field. This is before building out of the back type stuff and all that. And I had very little faith and trust that he could score in this round, right? If I have to use him, I will. It's goalkeeper against goalkeeper, but whatever. So my remaining player is Stuart Ritchie. And the reason why I didn't select Stuart for the 5 is because he had such a horrible year as a kid. I didn't want him anywhere near the pressure of that moment to think about it. I let my mom down, who's watching over me in heaven, or whatever. I mean, he's 8 years old, right? He probably is just, he was a happy-go-lucky kind of kid, and he plays professionally.
My whole family's awesome.
For Richmond Kickers now. So anyway, I'll get to that part of the story. And but he lines up and he's about to walk out. Travasos makes a save. So he makes a save. And now there is zero pressure. And if we had scored, I would have had to make a decision, Colin or him. But because we had saved, there was no pressure. All he had to do was score, and we would win. If he missed, we'd keep going. So there was no pressure in that regard, right? And because other people had missed, and even Christian, the kid with the biggest ego, had missed. So there was some safety in that. And so he comes to the line, Lama, and he was really quiet. And he comes over to me, and I call him back. I was like, "Hey, Stuart, come back." And I look into his eyes, and I just nod, and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." So he walks up, puts the ball down, just lasers it into the side lower corner. We win. It goes bananas. Silly string. Everybody's right. Parents rush the field. Just it was madness. And everybody's so happy. And every time I talk about this, like I get teary eyed because it was such a pivotal moment for him, for me, for everybody around. Like I think we had like 5 pros from that game, like full pros, and we're talking about 8, 9-year-olds.
We have 4 U12 national team players
Yeah, yeah. And
from
then
one
Mario
club.
Anaya. Yeah, Mario Anaya, who was like a 4-year starter at Irvine, was the chubby Latino kid. You know what I mean? Like he was
Mhm.
he was struggling to start on that team, and he's a 4-year starter at Irvine. So anybody who says it's all about determination and inspiration for kids, like keep on the path. If you want to get there, you'll get there, right? And you'll get where you get, right? It's
We had some pretty good coaches too. You, Alec Taylor, Bert Wilkinson, yourself.
Yeah, it was Troya in that time, Troya Cowell. He was around, but I think he was older
No,
too.
he came after.
He came after
That's a
Troya
whole
Cowell.
other segment.
That's a story in of itself. We'll leave that for another day. But so let's fast forward, and this part is you don't know. So let's fast forward. Stuart is visiting from out of town from his pro career. He's gone to a couple of pro clubs. He played in Germany. He because he was Scottish, he was actually playing in Europe with his his EU passport. Comes back. He's playing for different clubs. I think he played for the Crew, but don't quote me on that. But he is coming back. Had a really bad experience with the Crew, by the way. And I was like, "Hey, Stuart, let's go get coffee." And so we go get coffee, and we're just sitting there, and I'm like, "Dude, these things, like, hey, by the way, how proud am I of you and what you've done? Like, do you remember that game?" And he's like, "Well, to be honest, when I get interviewed, they ask like, what's the most important moment in your soccer career?" He says that moment. And I was like, "Wow, okay." Like I mean, for me, that would be, but he said that was the moment. And I was like, "Okay, cool." But he was 8. He probably didn't really understand the gravity of it, but he did, right? It's just such a good feeling. Guys, holding a World Cup is really fun. Um, but anyway, so I asked him, "So Stuart, do you remember when you were walking up and I called you back and I looked in your eyes and I nodded at you? Like, did that like balance you and calm you?" He said, "No. Actually, when I went to step up, the referee handed me the ball and I put it down. And he said," and this is going to make me cry, "All right, son, are you ready to win the state cup for your team?" That's what that ref said to him in that moment. And he fucking lasered that ball in. Like, I always thought it was me. That was the part that I thought as a coach. I thought I had given him that confidence, and it wasn't even me. It was a referee who calmed this kid, probably wanted to get out of there to get into the next game because they're like 32
You had
games a
coached him
day.
for 2 years at that time. You put plenty into him.
And so like just to hear that from him, I was like, dude, I had a journal with me. I was like taking notes and whatever. I was like, "Stuart, can you sign my journal?" So I don't know, one of the journals that I have in my house has a Stuart Ritchie signature, but it's from that moment telling me that, "Greg, you're not a really good coach," right? Just the referee said the right thing at the right time.
I just need more
So
referees to talk to me.
exactly. Hey, hey, by the way, referees can make a difference positively. So, we give them a lot, but you can't play an official game without a ref, but you can play a lot of fun games without a ref, right? So I'll just throw that out there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I wanted to tell you that story. Like you changed my life
Yeah, that's awesome.
when you allowed me to coach
I would
that
love to
team.
talk to him.
Yeah, when you allowed me to coach that team, it changed my life. And just so you know, we'll have other people in other podcasts. Is in a 6 week span, I won State Cup with that team. I won State Cup with the U12 team with Adolfo and Nico and Sean Lemoyne and those guys. And like we won the final 5-1. It was a joke. Like we
Shout
were,
out to Lemoyne's.
yeah. Um, and anybody from the Bay Area soccer knows the Lemoynes. They're legends. Um, Nico played for the Dynamo and all that stuff.
Eric was my best friend and roommate for many years.
Well, I'm gonna have Sean. I'm gonna talk to Sean on this as well because he's got some insight and he's hilarious.
I got so many more stories. We gotta do another one. I got
I know this is,
Bayern, we got
oh, dude.
Lothar, we
Hey,
got Terry, we
hey,
got all sorts of stuff.
this is my origins, Coach. We'll talk about you next time.
Oh yeah.
I want to know where you come from, and I want you to know why I am the way I am, and the stories that we never shared with each other. And even then, like we shared moments, but you didn't know the whole story. And even now, like
No.
I'll interview Stuart. It's probably a completely different story on his end. Maybe I'm lying. I don't know. It's just how I remember things. So, but the big one, with all of this stuff, the things that we do for our kids, I was coaching at another club in Brentwood, and Todd took he's like, you want to coach in Pleasanton? And I'm from Concord, Concord, Pleasanton. Pleasanton is a much more affluent area. I'm a have-not. I came from, meager beginnings. My parents didn't have a lot. I was a public school kid. So I was like, I don't know, but you know what? If I have the opportunity to work with my coach and work side by side, like I'm going to jump at that opportunity. And the opportunities I got from that job, the conversations that we had. We were roommates for 3 years, maybe even more or less. I don't even know. Like life's a blur. But the things like you accelerated my development. And so we won the U10 State Cup, the U12 State Cup, and I coached the high school team, Bishop O'Dowd. So for those, Bishop O'Dowd Dragons. And by the way, this was 2012, which the Chinese Zodiac, it's Year of the Dragon. And that's an even better story, but that's for Tommy and Maddie. I'm going to do that with both of them because they're so fantastic, both firemen right now. And we won the North Coast sectional with O'Dowd. So in 6 weeks, I won 3 championships in 3 completely different types of teams and environments. But the only reason I took the job at Bishop O'Dowd was because Maria, Tommy, and Mateo's Brazilian mother was like, we don't have a coach at Bishop O'Dowd. Will you please be our coach? I was like, high school coaching. I did it for a couple years in Concord. I was like, it's like community service. But Maria, I'd do anything for you. So like, I love your kids.
And Tommy went to UCLA.
Exactly. So I took that job, and when I had that job, I was going from teaching, doing work at a gym, training ballistic teams, and organizing my schedule and doing 8 to 9:30 p.m. trainings at the high school, which is not close. It's a 45 minute drive from Pleasanton to Oakland. So again, when I talk about this being the Road Warrior podcast, this is why. Like, to be a coach, you only get praise when things are going well, and you get lumped everything, and you have to take all the pressure, and that's part of the job. And it can be consuming. It can be soul sucking. It can keep you up at nights. Just like every teacher in the school system, we care about your kids, and sometimes we recognize we have amazing parents supporting the kids, and in other times we recognize the parents are destroying this child, and we have to almost as a caretaker protect them. And then you have your kids who are not your favorite kids, that are very difficult to work with, but yet you have to work with them anyway. So again, we'll wrap it up. We're at 55 minutes, and I could gush at you for forever.
Yeah, I could go all night.
Yeah, exactly. So what we'll do is,
especially if this
will be
reverberation
part
didn't.
one. part one of the podcast, and we'll bring you back for a second half. So this is like Escape to Victory. The West
Yeah.
Germans and the Nazis are destroying us, and we're going into the locker room, and we have the ability to take the tunnel and escape to freedom. And instead, Pele is going to hopefully inspire us to go back out on the field. So, but we don't know. So, for those who are listening, you guys let us know you want to hear more about the second half of this excursion, because this is just the beginning. When we actually coached and like what we did in terms of tactics and the things that we did developmentally with the players, and the entire process of going from ballistic, and I think you were at La Marinda before that, and then you were at Tri Valley, and
Lomarinda, Tri-Valley, Ballistic,
yeah.
Ethos,
What was the other one? Oh, DVSC, of course.
Ethos, USA Stars, DVSD.
Yeah. So
We
I'm
did
sure
what was our Y League? What was that?
Super Y, the Super Y
Super
put
Y.
on, by the way, put on
Did
by the USL, a fantastic idea in concept. It fell really flat, and made it very difficult. We had a collaboration. We can talk more about that on like the pros and cons of club collaborations. But again, just to wrap up, I'm not who I am today without you. As it started as a player and being inspired by you, and the opportunity to work underneath you, but it never felt underneath. It always felt on the side. I always felt like we were colleagues and equals, even though you had much more responsibility than me. And so I took that to anything I could do to help you make your job easier. I did as much as I could, because your job was the hardest. So that's what I would do. And then, the successes, I had one successful 6 weeks in coaching, right? Like that doesn't happen it doesn't happen. So like, yeah, there's some successes, but nothing like that. Like, and so for all those out
You're a
there,
very successful young man.
I'm not that young, dude. This great. Hey, I think I got a whisker on here called Todd Higley somewhere.
I
But
shaved so that you wouldn't see it. I looked worse than that, like 20
yeah,
minutes ago.
you know what? It's California cold, dude. It's 60 degrees. I'm freezing. What is it, North
Last
Carolina?
night it was 18 degrees here in North Carolina.
Exactly. So you can think about this. Regrets on moving California to Carolinas?
The the weather. It's way humid. The bugs are much bigger here,
We
and
also.
the infrastructure. I think I brought too many people from California because now there's just too much traffic.
Why'd you
So we
do
need to
that?
widen the roads a little bit and that kind of
Okay.
thing. But
And what you're in North Carolina,
but I am
right?
right next door to North Carolina, so I got some good soccer. I have the Cary soccer complex where all the NCAA finals were.
Okay. So here's my
We
commitment.
have that $1 million soccer tournament here.
Okay. Here's my commitment to you. The second half of our conversation is in person with you. So I'm coming to you,
Yep,
and we'll do it in person, side by side, wherever we need
I
to
would
do it.
love that.
Maybe even at like a soccer game. We're just chit chatting before, after a game, or whatever. We can decide that. But for those who
That would
don't
be awesome.
know, there was only two schools that I applied to, and I applied to 10 who said no to me. One was Princeton, the other was Duke. So fuck Duke, and I can say that
Dude,
because if you're a Tar Heel fan, you understand that because it's the research triangle, and and obviously my favorite athlete, my favorite contemporary athlete is Steph Curry, who I think Davidson makes the third school in that triangle. Is that correct? So, and also a guy that,
Davis is in there, Wake Forest is in there,
yeah. Um,
NC
but
State.
I, in at some point, to even have the ability to be in the proximity of that person, there's no one more inspiring than Steph Curry for someone like me. Small, unassuming, quiet, but hardworking and dedicated and committed and getting supported from all the right
And
people
loyal.
at all the right times. Loyalty. Yeah. So, Steph, if you're out there and, we can have a chat, like we're going to have to get to know each other before I bring you on the pod. But to be honest, like there's nobody more inspiring. And I'm still a little disappointed that you moved my Warriors into San Francisco because I was born in Oakland and Oakland needs sport. So, shameless plug, Oakland roots. That's me. I am Oakland roots, and grew up in Concord, but I was born in Oakland. And the time has come. The road is calling me, so I must go. It's time to get back on the road. So again, Todd, word of the day.
Thank you,
I'm gonna leave
Greg.
you. Give me a word of the day. What's the word of the day? This whole hour-long conversation we just had. What's word of the day?
I'm honored. I'm so happy that I don't have very many friends, so it's gonna make me cry. But I definitely call you one. So
Yeah,
you've affected my life more than you know, and I'd love to get into that as well. So
yeah.
thanks for
Well, well,
making me feel important for at least one day.
yeah, well, and we lost contact and touch because we stopped working with each other, and you moved. And honestly, probably in the last 10 years, we've texted back and forth periodically, but we haven't seen each other in probably 12 years. So to have you
You know,
on and be able to
it's
relive
just
these
like we've
moments.
left it.
Exactly. It's like we never I always carry you in my heart, and that's what I wanted to let you know. I carry you in my heart, and and hopefully you and your wonderful wife Mandy have an amazing day. Stay inside. It's 18 degrees. That sounds stupid. So,
Yeah,
go get a fire and then cook your wife dinner. That's a smart idea.
I will do that.
All right.
Thanks,
All right, my
Greggy.
friend. Hey, thank you
Love you, bro.
again. Go Bears. We didn't even get into the
Go
play
Birds.
and what that means. So I'm interested to hear, like, and you can just like comment on this. What does the Stanford Cal rivalry mean to the Cal men's soccer program directly? So I want you to think about that. And so we can talk about that because I understand it is the Montagues and the Capulets. So we go
Put it
from there.
lightly, yeah.
Hey, Sparta and Athens. That's what it is. I think
Yeah,
that's a
that's
better
better.
one.
That's more
Sparta
like
and
it.
Athens. All right, people. Hey, be well, stay safe. Uh, Tell your loved ones that you love them because you never know when you're going to be able to say it again. So, bye bye, and we're off.
And treat people the way you want your family treated.
Hey, we're a big family called Homo sapiens. Everybody's in our family. We're all the same. All right, take care, guys.
Yep.